Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm Robert Flanagan. I was born right here in this community. I'm from Athens. I want to talk a little bit about some of the complexities of poverty that we see in our community, the racialized poverty that we see in our community, and the disparities that exist. I work with an organization called the Economic Justice Coalition, and part of that work, I get to go and partner with great organizations and unions like the United Campus Workers. We go on campus and we talk to workers, low-wage workers, building service workers, maintenance people, who have to work a second job just to live a certain quality of life, just to take care of their kids, just to have the basic necessities that most people with economic stability are able to enjoy. This is not the society that I envision living in, being a community with other people in. And so when we look around and we see the racialized poverty and the disparity in our community, when you look around the table at certain positions and certain organizations and institutions, and you don't see people of color in higher positions, in stable salary positions, that is an issue. That is all of our issue. Right now in our school system, there's racial disparity in terms of academic success for many of our kids, our black and brown kids and our students. That has implications later on in life and earning potential. And so if those kids aren't reading on grade level, we need to support those kids as a community. We need to lift them up so that they can become economically stable later in life. We need to stop letting people share rhetoric that is counterproductive to those things. Many speakers talked earlier about skills. There's a narrative that is pervasive in this community. They keep telling people to get more skills. You can get a better job, to do this, do that. Well, people are already working 40 plus hours a week and still living in poverty. We forget that black people, African American people, enslaved people built this country, built this university. The skills don't get any better than that. The skills are already there. We need to continue to push these things and push these issues to make sure that politicians understand what we need, where we need it, and make sure that they move to action. The Worker Centered Economic Justice Coalition approaches this work in a myriad of ways. We advocate for workers, we educate workers, we support workers in certain campaigns by connecting them to legal services when appropriate. Many workers don't know how to use a union and don't know the effective power of a union. And so we want to make sure that every Athenian or every person in the state of Georgia knows how to use a union, how to file an unfair labor practice claim, how to file an EEOC claim, discrimination, how to go to OSHA and file a claim for safety or other hazards in the workplace. So we want to make sure that these things are prevalent in our community. And lastly, the Worker Center, the Economic Justice Coalition was started by Dr. Ray McNair, the late Dr. Ray McNair. He took on this personal challenge when he heard many state legislators going around talking about labor. He decided to create an organization centered around labor. We started off focusing on immigrants' rights, letting people know about their value of their work to make sure they didn't get exploited like many people do today, connecting them to legal fees or legal services when appropriate, and also giving them rides to work. They would meet people at Home Depot and make sure that those immigrant workers were taken care of and were supported. And so we need to continue to do that as a community, centering the needs of black and brown workers. Because once we lift up those workers, the rest of the workers should be taken care of as well. I was able to sit down with some of the Caterpillar leadership. They had a new regional director that just came. Before we talked and had lunch, they were paying some of their workers $13 an hour at entry level. I met him a couple of months later. He told me with a grin on his face that they had raised the wages to $17 an hour minimum. Those are the type of wins and type of actions that we need to keep fighting for, that we need to keep pushing for. And so with that being said, I want to leave us with a chant and how you can get in touch with EJC. Look us up on Facebook, the Economic Justice Coalition. Follow us, reach out, send us a message. If you want to get involved, we need to build our capacity. We're currently in the process of advocating for some ARPA funds so we can build a capacity. We need support in that locally. And lastly, I want to end in this chant. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people.